a partially valid, a half-truth, if you will, is being pushed.
I can't wait to find out all sorts of new and exciting things I didn't know about myself.
So you just hate Jews, bro?
Yeah, you're just an anti-Semite. Congratulations.
You're not
Go
what would you say?
Exactly.
Well, that's different. It's not different. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's
that just we are the only society on Earth who has the obligation to self-destruct, to blame ourselves for every problem that has ever existed, and we just think of ourselves as the worst human beings who are responsible for every bad.
How many Muslims are trying to stop Boko Haram? How many Muslims were confronting ISIS? How many Muslims, the extremists always win. So the peaceful majority, of which I know many, they're irrelevant.
Good morning, Misfits. All right. Let's see here. Technical difficulties is the name of the show. We're just going to make sure that we don't have any audio issues. So I see morning Misfits. Yeah, we do. Right. You know, this whole audio issue, I will figure it out, but I already know what the issue is. So let me just do something real quick. We're just going to we're gonna delete these. Just can't win. Just can't win. All right, now we're gonna come in a little bit lower, so we're just gonna turn it up, and we'll figure this out on another day. I'm gonna have to play with this. I'm gonna have to play with my audio. There we go. Perfect. Gonna have to play with my audio sometime after I do this, and then I do my real job, and then I figure out how to get my house cleaned and my chores done. But enough of that. Let's get to it. All right, guys. So the Daily Breakdown is here. It is Woke Wednesday. Let me just do a quick check real quick. One more time. Yep, that sounds way better. Okay. Sorry, guys. So, Woke Wednesday, right? Criminal freedom of the press. We do have a guest supposedly coming on. I know we had a guest that was supposed to come on yesterday, and they didn't make it. Haven't even gotten a message since. But we'll see if we can bring Tim Hale back. We're working out the kinks. It's a new show. I don't know how to internet, right? This was the long running joke when I was on my other channel was I don't know how to internet, and you should have seen how this show was before. I have gotten leaps and bounds better at doing all the technical stuff, but I don't have any knowledge of this. I'm essentially just a carpenter that a contractor that wanted to do a show, so I just did it. And I see all these other people. I'm like, what do you do with the thingy? With the what kind of microphone do I get? Yes, I am much healthier today. Thank you in the chat, J-Lou. Funmon, I was so sick. Oh my God. Sunday, what was it? Sunday? And then Monday, I was just, yesterday, I was still feeling it. Today, I am fully recovered. Look, guys, I'm telling you, look, this is the thing, right? I still have these from Monday's show, okay? If you are getting sick, okay, I'm telling you, this works. I've had other people do this, and they've told me it works. Magnesium, D3, iron, vitamin C, zinc, and colloidal silver. Those 5 vitamins plus the colloidal silver, take that as soon as you start feeling sick, twice a day, 24, 48 hours tops. And it works every single time. So I'm telling you, I saw it on a Joe Rogan podcast, I think, during COVID. It was one of those doctors who was like, he's like, this is what you need to do if you get COVID. You don't need to take the vaccine. And I did it. Worked really well. Okay, so enough of that. All right. So as we usually do on the Daily Breakdown, we are going to cover the theme of the day, Woke Wednesday. I call this woke journalism. Activists posing as journalists, violating the law potentially, and calling it freedom of the press. Okay. On the left here, we have Tucker Carlson. And if you guys don't know, Tucker Carlson recently admitted to talking with IRGC personnel and saying that the CIA is spying on him for doing that. I don't think that's how it works. When you're communicating with the designated terrorist organization, I actually kind of want my government to spy on you. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Does that mean you're against freedom? No. You're authoritarian. No, not really. I'm not even for the Patriot Act. I'm not saying that you should be able to spy on Americans. You shouldn't be able to go and just spy on Americans, but you should be able to spy on the IRGC. And if an American is texting back and forth with terrorists, I think the CIA should probably find out what they're saying. I'm sorry. Yes, vitamin C, D, magnesium, zinc, silver, iron, and colloidal silver in the chat. Just you were missing the iron and colloidal silver. Anyway, Don Lemon, same thing. Don Lemon went and stormed a church with a group of BLM activists called journalism. Okay, these are activists. These are people with an agenda that are trying to push a narrative. They are no different than Rachel Maddow, the people on CNN, anybody who's defending Tucker Carlson in his quest to be anti-war, great. Stop calling yourself a journalist. Journalists are objective. Journalists report facts. They don't push narratives. Okay, that's the difference between a journalist and an activist. And activism and criminality tend to overlap sometimes, right? I don't know if you know this, but it's not a peaceful protest if you throw bombs. It's not a peaceful protest if you break windows. It's not a peaceful protest if you're not peaceful. And that's the thing. We have this new class of activists, new class of freedom fighters and social justice warriors. Social justice warriors now online on these days, they think that doxing is activism. They think that if they put your personal information out there in an effort to try to get you harmed, fired, killed, financially crippled, that's activism. Bullshit. That's terrorism. All right. It's terrorism. Domestically, it's terrorism, and within the case of Tucker Carlson, potentially, I don't know, potentially that could be providing material support to a foreign designated terrorist organization. I'm not saying he did that. I'm just saying that he did at least admit to speaking with the IRGC. So I think that we need to be very clear about what journalism is, who's actually doing it, and who's an activist or potentially a terrorist. Now, usually we'll go on and we'll do the news. I have a guest coming on shortly. I hope. I really hope so. Sorry, I was just actually texting them. And if they do show up, which would be great, it will be Eli... I want to say his name right, Afriyat, who is a former IDF soldier. And I want to cover some things that are going on over in the Middle East. Now, for the... No, not that one. Here we go. For the daily breakdown, we're going to get this out of the way in the beginning. We're changing things up a little bit. Here's Don Lemon trying to claim that he's a Catholic. Okay. Now, look, there are some people that will go low and say because Don Lemon is gay, he's not a Christian. I don't believe that. All right. I think that you can be gay and you can be Christian. I think that it's a sin, but I also think that, lying is a sin. Here's the way I explain it, right? I'm not making any excuses for anybody that commits sin in Christianity. All I'm saying is they mention gay stuff like a couple of times in the Bible. They mention lying a lot, right? And there's so many liars out there, and nobody goes, you know, you lie a lot, you're going to hell. They say, oh, you're gay, you're going to hell. So I just think that we need more consistency with how we judge others. I think that, you know, what I'm saying is whether or not you are a homosexual and that prevents you from getting into heaven, I don't know. Maybe it does. That's not why Don Lemon's not a Catholic. That's what I'm really saying, okay? The reason Don Lemon, I don't believe, is a Catholic is because he's not. I don't know. Why do we really have to get into this? But I think this is funny because there's really this similarity between the woke right, woke left, where they use Christianity, they use their religion as a shield, and they use their First Amendment as a shield. Okay, like the woke left and the woke right. That's why this is Woke Wednesday. Okay, we are showing the paradigm here. We're showing the similarities. We're showing the parallels between two sides that are doing the exact same thing. They are doing the exact same thing. They're taking their version of Christianity, they're taking their version of the First Amendment, and they're using it as a shield to become, I don't want to really say terrorist, but kind of to terrorize other people. It's not right. And look, yeah, I said yesterday, the whole judge them unless ye be judged might not mean you can't judge people. It means don't be a hypocrite, and I think that these people are hypocrites. Z-Stack works great for flu. People are still talking about that in the chat. All right, look, you guys see I got my energy back. I got my color back. I'm actually speaking very fast. My brain's working. It's great. So let's take advantage of that. Let's see here. I don't see the guest yet. All right. Told them to come on at 1:15, and it is about 1:15, but we'll see if we get Eli. If we don't get Eli, we'll jump right into the daily breakdown, and we'll just go and find the news. But here's the video proof that Don Lemon was working with the Minnesota church insurrectionists. Okay. The media is in a collective outrage over the fact that Don Lemon was arrested after a grand jury charged him for infiltrating a Minnesota church with a mob this month. This is back in Minnesota a couple months ago. But in the video below, excuse me, he's clearly working with the group ahead of time, even refuses to disclose their plans, even though he knows exactly what they are doing. Okay, we understand? He protects their lawlessness, and as we saw on that day, participated in it. And in the picture at the top of the page, he's kissing the leader of the mob who orchestrated it. In the video below, Lemon explained why he infiltrated that church with his mob, describing these Christians as entitled, which comes from white supremacy. This is why Don Lemon is not a Christian. It has nothing to do with you know this. If you're looking, sorry, cover your eyes. We don't have a naughty button for that, but has nothing to do with the bedroom stuff. Nothing. That's not why he's not a Christian. He's not a Christian because he hates people based on immutable characteristics. He hates white people, even though he's married to one. Number one, Carl Benji, or number one, $1 from Carl Benji. The Bible teaches us that all people fall short of God's perfect standards. Romans 3:23 says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." And Ecclesiastes 7:20. Exactly. No, and I agree. And look, I'm a sinner. I say this all the time. I'm a bad Christian. I'm a Christian, but I'm a bad Christian. What I really, truly try not to do ever is lie. Right? It's what I believe is one of the greatest sins. Right? I don't murder anybody. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I really don't. You know, I remember, I'll go full screen for this one. Story time. I was in high school, my first girlfriend ever. I'm 16, Not my first girlfriend ever, my first real girlfriend ever. You know, like you have the girlfriends where you hold hands and stuff. But I think I was like 16, 17. Yeah, I was 16. And I was dating this girl for, I don't know, a few months maybe. And I went out to bowling. And, you know, we were troublemakers back then. We used to sneak in alcohol. Had a little bit of alcohol. And I kissed another girl. Like kissed, just made out a little bit. And I immediately, the next day, called my girlfriend. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I cheated on you. She was like, she's like, all right, you're being honest. And we stayed together for a while. But yeah, no, just lying, cheating, that stuff, murder, cool. Swearing, people get mad at me for swearing. I don't think that counts. You guys might disagree. We can disagree on that. But I just think that lying is the sin that so many people are just so comfortable with. And it's like, isn't that one of the 7 things that God hates? Isn't that like 3 of the 7? Let's look it up. You know, I'm sorry. We're going ADD today. We're going to go ADD. Let's go ADD. You guys want to do ADD? We'll do ADD. I don't care what you want. I'm in the driver's seat here. What are let's ask Perplexity. What are the 7 things God hates? All right. Because I know that this is in the 7 things God hates comes from Proverbs 6:16 through 19, where Scripture lists 6 things the Lord hates, and then says the sevenfold they are detestable. Okay, the 7 things listed, and by the way, being homosexual is not on here. All right, and look, we can argue about that. Some people think it's really important. Okay, it's definitely a sin. We got that. All right, the most modern translations, the 7 are haughty, proud eyes, arrogance, and looking down on others. Okay, I probably am guilty of this sometimes. Okay, a lying tongue, habitual lying and deceitful speech. This is what God hates. Hands that shed innocent blood, murder, or violence against the defenseless. He hates that. All right, I don't do that. A heart that devises wicked schemes, planning evil in secret. You see? Feet that are quick to rush into evil, eagerness to pursue sin. Some of us are guilty of that. A false witness who pours out lies. Okay, so we have lies, and lies. And 7, one who sows discord among brothers, stirring up conflict and division within the community. Isn't this interesting? Isn't this really interesting, that number 7? What has been happening online in the world right now, right? The infighting. Somebody said this sounds like the Democratic Party. You know what? You're right. They nail all of this. Yeah. I mean, this is pretty much the Democrat Party's platform. So, these are things that I try not to do, okay? I try not to look down on others, right? Even though I do sometimes, I think deservedly, I will look down on Candace Owens. I don't lie. I mean, I'm sure I have. I try not to. I'm like white lie, like I'm 5 minutes away. I try not to intentionally lie about big things. I've never shed innocent blood. All right, that's good. Good. So far, so good on that one. A heart that devises wicked schemes, planning evil in secret. I don't do that. Feet that are quick to rush into evil. This one's tough for me sometimes. Eager to pursue sin. Eagerness to pursue sin. I can guarantee you I used to be like this back when I lived in Florida. That was some fun-ish times that I had to run away from very fast. But you guys understand my point here? Okay? You guys get it? These are the things that God hates. Okay? And I think that this covers not only the Democrat Party, it not only covers the woke left, but it covers the woke right. It covers the grifting podcast sensationalist circuit. And I think that that's important to remember. Write these down or just look them up. All right, where else were we? We already covered this. Now, let's move on to Tucker. Tucker has also come out and said that he can talk to whoever he wants. I can talk to whoever I want. I'm a journalist, right? That's why this right here. Tucker Carlson on his phone, IRGC in the background. I can talk to whoever I want. Don Lemon, BLM in the background, church. I can storm a church if I want. Terrorism isn't journalism. You guys get it? I'm so good at these. I mean, Eli makes them, but I'm really good at them. Okay. So this is Buckley Carlson. Buckley's Tucker Carlson's brother, who was named after a puppy, apparently. Because who the hell names their kid Buckley? Like, seriously, Buckley? Like, Buck would be fine. As an adult, keeping Buckley, even if that's like your real, just say Buck. Like Buck Sexton. Nobody's like, Buck, you're a puppy. No, Buckley. Come here, Buckley. That's what I hear. All right, Eli's still not here, guys. Eli is not here, and it's 8:23 a.m. I don't know. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We're going to lose our guest again 2 days in a row? Good thing we didn't put him in the thumbnail. You know, in their defense, I don't know what time it is in Israel right now, but no, we'll see. And I hope that he's fine, honestly, because, you know, there is a war going on, so it could be a very, very valid excuse. But let's just keep moving on. We'll keep moving on, and we'll see what we need to do. All right, but here's Buckley Carlson. Treason is welcoming, shielding, empowering the enemies within. Huh. I could make the argument that Tucker's doing that. Adhering to enemies, giving them aid and comfort. Okay. 2, destroying the empire and with which you were entrusted through neglect, incompetence, self-preservation, greed, or worse, to satisfy the bloodthirsty, destructive aims of a hostile. To satisfy the bloodthirsty, destructive aims of a hostile foreign nation. And sending America's most impressive young men to fight and die for a hostile foreign nation. I think he's making these up. It is not. This is what he says. Buckley, come here, boy. This is what he says. It is not championing America and Americans, advocating for peace, doing your job as a journalist. Okie dokie. So, we've all seen this video of Tucker Carlson saying that the CIA was reading his text. We're going to go through it one more time, just the quick part.
People in Iran, which the agent of a forum didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
An Agent Act or something like
Here
that.
we go.
On before the war. They read my texts. So the crime under consideration apparently would be the Foreign Agent Act or something like that, acting as an agent of a foreign power.
Okay. So there's Tucker Carlson explaining that he has been informed that the CIA has been spying on him. We don't know if this is true, by the way. We still don't know. The DOJ, the administration, nobody has come out and made a statement of clarification. So I actually think it's true. Because I think that if it was false, they would have already come out and be like, no, we're not. No, I think it's true because we haven't heard anything. But he's saying he's allegedly being investigated for a criminal referral for the Foreign Agent Act. It's the Foreign Agent Registration Act. He knows what it is. He's talked about it several times. He's playing dumb. And here's a fun fact about that. The Foreign Agents Registration Act does not apply to the citizens of Iran. It applies to the government because it's working on behalf of a foreign government. Government being the key word. The entire government of Iran, the entire IRGC, is a foreign terrorist organization. So, what Tucker Carlson's video, what we take from Tucker Carlson's video, here's what we know so far. Tucker's the one who told us this. Tucker is the one who told us this. He was communicating, or is communicating, with terrorists. That's his admission. Now, can you communicate with terrorists as a journalist? Yes, you can. You can. There's nothing wrong with just asking questions, right? Like that's what they all claim they do, right? That's what they claim they do. So if he was reaching out in a journalistic capacity to say something like, hey, this is Tucker Carlson with Tucker Carlson Network, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on this, perfectly fine. But Foreign Agent Registration Act means you're working on behalf of a foreign agent, and he's texting back and forth with the IRGC. So let's say, this is what we don't know, all right? I want to be very clear about what we know and what we don't know. We don't know what's in the text, but we have to speculate because he's the one that brought this up. Let's say the CIA was spying on terrorists, which they should do. Okay? Can we all agree on that? Yes, they shouldn't spy on Americans without cause, but they should definitely spy on terrorists. Okay? We're good? Everyone agree with that part, at least? Does anybody believe you are violating the terrorists' First Amendment by spying on them? Because if you do, get out. Dude, no, you don't belong here. Okay? All right? So let's say that's what they were doing. Let's say they were, spying on freaking Muhammad, whatever the hell his name is. Okay? And then, as they're spying on this terrorist, Tucker Carlson's name just goes, "Sup, bro?" like across, and they're like, "Yo, dude." Right? Then, yeah, they have to spy on Tucker Carlson. It makes perfect sense. All right? And let's say in those correspondence, let's say something along the lines of this happened. Let's say Muhammad guy goes, "Hey, you know what you should really talk about?" That's it. That's it. That's all it takes to violate FARA. If anyone in the IRGC had any type of request at all from Tucker Carlson, doesn't have to pay him for it. If they just said, you know what you should do? You know what you should talk about? A suggestion, it might come across as. And Tucker Carlson did it. That's a violation of FARA. He needs to disclose that immediately. He needs to go, hey, I was talking with these terrorists, and one of them was like, you should really bring up this. And I need to tell you because I'm a journalist and I need to know the laws and the rules and everything that comes with journalism. I need to know when I'm violating the Foreign Agent Registration Act because I'm a journalist, right? Instead of, like it's called the Foreign Agent Act or something. Like, does he realize how he's admitting by pretending he doesn't know what the Foreign Agent Registration Act is? He's basically saying he's a shitty journalist, right? Like, because everybody knows what that is. Hunter Biden, we all went through it. Tucker Carlson has actually come out and accused other people of needing to register under FARA. Under FARA, so he obviously knows what it was. He's spoken about it. All of a sudden, he's playing ignorant, like, oh man, I'd never heard of that thing before. Shut up, dude. We know you're lying. We know you're lying, and this is what God hates. Right? We remember the 7th thing that God hates. A lying tongue. Number 2. Number 2. Now, I'm going to jump over to my page real quick. Oh, actually, I'm already on my page. I want you to check this out right now. Look, guys, I've already said this many times. I've always been a fan of JD Vance, but Tucker Carlson's probably the anchor that is going to sink him. And it's nobody's fault but JD's, okay? This is from January 30th, 2024. JD Vance is sharing the interview between Joe Kent, the guy who just resigned because Israel dragged us into a war or something, and Tucker Carlson. I want you to listen to what Joe Kent says. All right, guys, you know what? Actually, I've given Eli enough time because we have to reset the audio real quick. I'm going to X out of the video call in the background, and we're going to have to do a quick little swap-a-rooney. It'll be 2 seconds. Check, check. Perfect. Now we'll turn this down a bit. Doesn't that sound better? Does everybody think that sounds better? I think it does. Can't even hear it, but it sounds better to me. Okay, next up. So yeah, here's the interview from January 29th of 2024. Okay, this is the Joe Kent guy who just resigned. I'm going to skip to about 5 minutes and 20 seconds, and I want you to listen to something.
Injured after a drone loaded with...
Okay, right about here.
From that, if we start attacking Iran the way that we attacked Iraq, the way we attacked Afghanistan, then the Iranian government, the Iranian mullahs, the Ayatollah, the people will rally around them in support. We should be taking calculated...
Hold on, let's do that again. Go back a little bit more.
Let this go unanswered. But if we start taking strikes inside of Iran itself, that is exactly what the Iranian regime wants.
Yeah, so he's saying that if we do what Trump just did, right, that's what the Iranian regime wants. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we've proven that wrong. And also, he's about to say something else a little bit crazy. Vid is low volume. Okay, hold on one sec, guys. Let's turn up that. See if that helps.
It will benefit from that. If we start attacking Iran the way that we attacked Iraq, the way we attacked Afghanistan, then the Iranian government, the Iranian mullahs, the Ayatollah, the people will rally around them in support. We should be taking calculated strikes. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that his prediction was wrong. Okay, I don't know if you guys heard that. Somebody was saying that the audio was low. What Joe Kent has said was, if back in 2024, if we attacked Iran, the people would rally around the Ayatollah. Nope. That could not have been further from the truth. That's not what happened at all. The people resisted. The people, this was way before he was slaughtering the people in the streets when they resisted, before we even had the Epic Fury operation. So my point is, this guy, Joe Kent, I think that he might have just been one of these people that's like, yeah, and I want to be very careful because I haven't attacked him really, okay? He's a combat veteran. His wife died, and I want to be sensitive to that. You know, I've made a joke, like somebody was like, what's one word for this guy? I go, his turncoat, 1 or 2 words. But I'm really not attacking him too much. What I'm saying is, there are people who, just because they have military service, there are some people out there that think you can't criticize them. You can't, they're immune, or they know things, right? Not true. It's not true. You can be military special forces and still be an idiot, right? Dan Crenshaw, Navy SEAL. I think he's an idiot. I think he's a liar and an idiot, and I'm glad that he just lost his primary. All right. It's fine to say that. You can say that. These people don't have an immunity shield from criticism because they served, okay?
So at best, Joe Kent is ignorant about the Middle East and Iran and foreign policy. Now, Tucker Carlson has already come out and said that Joe Kent will be on his show tonight. Now, let's go back and let's see here. I had all of these queued up for our guest, but essentially it's just the IDF is just smoking. We are just decimating Iran. I mean, look here. This is a great. Let's ADD. We're gonna do ADD. This is an amazing piece or tweet, I guess you could say, by Adam Mossoff. Okay, let's read this together. The New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, BBC, CBS, 60 Minutes, etc. all make it sound like the war against the Islamic regime of Iran is floundering at best. This is what Joe Kent said would happen, right? Like, if we attack Iran, you're going to lose, okay? Like, it's not what's happening. But this is what the mainstream media is basically saying. This is so wrong that I'm gobsmacked that all the media has misled so many people. Here's the facts. As of this morning, the U.S. and Israel have completely decapitated the Islamic regime. Its navy sits on the bottom of the sea with over 100 ships sunk. It is no longer able to fire more than 1 to 2 ballistic missiles per day, and soon that will be 0. Its Basiji thugs, who slaughtered thousands of innocent Iranians 2 months ago, are themselves being wiped out and running away at the faintest sound of a drone. These are hilarious videos. Islamic regime foreign diplomats are requesting asylum in multiple countries. There are reports of regime troops refusing to show up for duty. The war is succeeding in the goal of its phase. It will ultimately remove the greatest source of global terrorism and an imminent nuclear threat to all Western countries, including the U.S. and Israel. What comes next? This is the part where people freak out about, because you freak out about the unknown, and I think that it's a valid concern. Hopefully something better. The future is never 100% certain, but the Allies had no idea in World War II what would come next after the surrender of the Nazis and Imperial Japan. This is such a good point. You don't not do something because you don't know what will happen if you do it, right? We didn't know whether or not taking down Hitler would create a vacuum. Right? We didn't know that, but we did it anyway. And today, these countries are some of the closest allies of the U.S. There are significant signs from the Shah and the Iranians themselves that they could do the same. Let us hope, but whatever happens, the elimination of the 47-year-old holy war against the West is a good thing. And just about anything is better than a nuclear-armed religious regime that explicitly seeks an apocalypse with the U.S. and Israel. This is the most pragmatic way of looking at this conflict, right? It's like, first of all, it's going well, basically by every metric we can think of and measure. Secondly, you don't not do it because you don't know what will happen if you do it. Common sense. You don't not do something. Okay, so I see a guy beating up his girlfriend on the street. I see him beating up his girlfriend, and I don't know if I go up to him and beat the crap out of him, if his friends are going to come back and murder my whole family because I stopped him from beating his girlfriend. Do I stop him from beating his girlfriend? Yes. Yes, that's what you do. You don't think that far ahead. You stop the evil when it's happening. Over 36,000 people were slaughtered in the street. The same people that cried for years about the poor, innocent Palestinians. Less than, okay? Because we're going 1-to-1 combatant to civilian ratio. We're going to do that, right? Less than 37,000 Palestinian civilians. I'm saying it, okay? You can say that this isn't true. You can fact check it. I'm saying it. It's true, okay? Less than the amount of people that the Iranians slaughtered in a week. were accidentally killed in 2 years. But nobody thinks that we should stop Iran. Everyone thinks we should stop Israel. Bullshit. You apply that across the board or you don't apply it at all. And that's why I don't have a single F to give about the poor, innocent Palestinians. Because unlike the Iranians, they're supporting their government. The Iranians are not. The Iranians are the ones being slaughtered by their own government because they're being used as human shields, as opposed to the people that are like, yeah, you can use me as a human shield. Nah, sorry, we're not playing that game. Anyway, back to my point. There's also this other quick point here. Here's the difference between the war in Iraq and the war in Iran, because you're going to keep hearing that talking point, right? Here's the people that have been killed in a month, less than a month, 2 weeks. This is, I don't know if you guys remember the deck, the Iraqi deck of playing cards, where it was like Saddam Hussein and everything like that in the war in Iraq. Look at this. 48 out of the 52 confirmed dead. 4 remain at large, right? So there's still people left on that deck 20-something years later, right? But 2003, 10. 2006 to 2012, a few more. And 2013 to 2024, some more, right? It took years, over a decade, over 2 decades, I think, to kill everybody on the Iraqi playing card list. It took 3 weeks to do this. So I don't want to hear how this is the same. It's not. This one has a clear objective. This one's an actual successful operation. And I don't agree with the war in Iraq. Nobody does. Nobody. There's very few people that are like, the war in Iraq was great. I don't think there is any, actually. But this one, quite efficient. All right. I want to get to this Joe Kent thing. FYI, ADD, sorry, another sidetrack here. I got to give Matt Walsh credit. I've given him so much shit for, not coming out and being a coward. I give Michael Knowles crap yesterday for a similar thing, but Matt Walsh does an amazing job in this video. I recommend you go check it out. It's on my page, of really breaking down how defamation online works and why you can't do anything about it, and how people like Candace Owens thrive because they know they can get away with what they're doing. This is how Tucker Carlson knows he can get away with what he's doing. This is how Don Lemon knows he can get away with what he's doing. This is how everybody knows they can get away with just lying. The theme of the day is woke people lie a lot. Anyway, there is a post about the guy Joe Kent. Oh, did he? Oh, look at that. Owen Schroyer deleted it. Owen Schroyer deleted it. Oh, freaking idiot. Owen Schroyer shared this video, this meme that looked like the human centipede. Use your imagination. Looked like the human centipede with me and James Lindsay and Seth Dillon and stuff like that. It's like, dude, yeah, you guys are doing a great job. Sorry, guys. I was planning on having a guest again, so we're just we're filling time now. I'm gonna have to. Okay, just touch base. Well, too late now. Sorry, too late now. I'm just writing back. Too late now. We'll reschedule. All right. Yeah, they're like, yeah, hey, just touch base. He'll be on soon. We got 15 minutes left. Nah, come back another time. We'll figure out a way. Okay, here's a couple of interesting things. Number one, Joe Kent was in the Signal chat that was leaked. Okay, this is not conclusive evidence, but it's something that we should think of. Okay, so Joe Kent was in the Signal chat that was leaked. Remember, people were calling for Pete Hegseth to resign because somebody let I believe it was a Washington Post reporter into a Signal chat with administration officials. You remember? You guys remember Signalgate? Okay. I'm not accusing Joe Kent of anything. I'm just saying it's interesting. Okay. All right. There's also... There was... Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find this. Well, yeah, there is this post, but this is... Yeah, this is on... Here, let's try this. Sorry. Give me a second, guys. Bear with me. Bear with the ADD. We're just... we're filling time because of our guest, but we got this. All right. Joe Kent leaker. Maybe I did not repost it. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Thankfully, it popped up really quick. Okay. This is Aisha Hasni, and she's at Fox News. She's a White House correspondent. A senior administration official tells Fox that Joe Kent was a known leaker, and he was cut out of POTUS intelligence briefings months ago. This is a senior administration official telling a White House correspondent that Joe Kent was a known leaker. Okay? The White House told Tulsi Gabbard he should be fired for suspected leaks, but she never did. He has not been part of any Iran plannings, discussions, or briefings at all. There's a follow-up to this post. On background from ODNI, it's true Kent was not involved in briefings on Iran. However, Gabbard was never asked to fire him, or else she would have. Gabbard has been in touch with the White House since Kent's resignation. Meanwhile, a second senior U.S. official tells Fox the White House complained to Gabbard about Kent several times before, but they were under the impression that the White House never directly told Gabbard explicitly to fire Kent, or she would have. Okay. So, we have a guy who is a known leaker, who was in the Signal chat, who's going on, who does a resignation statement and immediately announces that he's going on Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, who's got a, let's say, limited view of the Middle East and foreign policy, and whose wife is, let's just say, not the most trustworthy journalist who works for Max Blumenthal. This whole circle of woke right, anti-Israel people, he's in it. Okay? He shouldn't be near he shouldn't have been near the administration. The administration does need to do a purge of this. They really do. They need to do a purge of this. It has to happen. Right? Because if Joe Kent in the Tucker Carlson circle of they claim to be anti-war. They're not anti-war. They're anti-American. All right. Tucker Carlson is just he's like a propagandist for every other country except America. He's like, hey, you know, the grocery stores in Russia are really clean, and the subways are spotless. Whoa! Right? It's like, dude, what? Like he's literally just he's taking the wrong side of every issue. And this guy was at his Christmas party. And look, I like JD Vance, I really do, but JD Vance is guilty of association because that's how politics works, right? I don't do guilt by association, but people do, and that's how it works in politics. If you are closely connected to Tucker Carlson, who's just this wacky son of a gun who just keeps on being anti-American and promoting like taqiyya for Islamic radicalism, then yeah, sorry, JD, you should have made your position clear, and you didn't. Just like what Trump did yesterday. What Trump did yesterday was he saw Megyn Kelly, who's in this little circle, going after Mark Levin. What did Trump do? He goes, Mark. Hey, Megyn, you're an idiot. Mark. Boom. Draws the line clearly, and everybody goes, we know where Trump is. With JD, JD's like, well, this discussion needs to be had. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. People need to know where you are, dude. This is like the Michael Knowles strategy. Well, yeah, obviously it's very bad to attack Erica Kirk. And then Ben Shapiro's like, okay, can you say that it's bad for Candace to do it? And Michael Knowles is like, oh, I'm not going to say Candace. It's just, it's obviously bad to attack Erica Kirk. Okay, just say Candace. Can you say the word Candace? Why? She's not freaking Voldemort, dude. So no, I'm sorry. JD has put himself in a situation of his own doing. I like JD Vance. I do. Charlie trusted him. I trust him, but he is screwed because he refused to show backbone with the woke right wing of the party. It's not that hard to figure out. There's a clear what's it called? Correlation, let's call it. There's a clear correlation between the woke left and what they did to the Democrat Party and what the woke right is trying to do to this party. If we allow them to take over, we will end up just like the Democrats. If we allow radicals to infiltrate the movement and continuously push us further and further and further away from true conservatism, then we are screwed because normal people don't think like this. It's not hard to figure out, guys. Here's Caroline Levitt's clap back to this Joe Kent guy. I was going to go through that. I realized that we're getting short on time, so I'm gonna hold off on that. But I think we've made our point with the Joe Kent thing, right? The Joe Kent thing. He's a symptom of a bigger problem. He's a symptom of this problem, right? He's a symptom of the. I mean, let me see if I can find. I hate to keep searching. I usually have all of this queued up before. Again, not making excuses, but we did lose our freaking. We did lose our guest. There was this beautiful breakdown of how the Democratic Socialists infiltrated the Democrat Party, and it was like super spot on. So let's see if we can find that really quick. If not, we're just going to move on for the next 5 minutes to whatever we can cover. Yeah, IRGC leadership. Yeah, guys. Actually, yesterday, I mean, if you guys don't follow my page, you might. Sometimes I throw some work stuff in here, and this is what I was doing yesterday after I finished up the show. I think sweating it out. Yeah. By the way, this is also kind of related, right? If you see any of the people on the right saying that we should vote Democrat to teach the GOP a lesson, Kim Jong-un just won 99.93% of the vote in North Korea. Do you really think that was a fair election? Because this is what they are risking. This is what they are risking. This is what Nick Fuentes is risking by saying we should give the Democrats power because we want to teach the GOP a lesson. It's like, dude, what? Okay, that lesson is going to be the death of America, potentially, because they tried to steal it. Look, this is another thing, the propagandas, right? It's like they think that Tucker Carlson, his chances of winning the presidency has doubled. Yeah, it doubled to 4%. Stop using Polymarket as a polling indicator, you stupid dumbasses. Okay, I posted this. You know what? I'm obviously not going to be able to find it. But there was this article that was just absolutely spot on. And it was talking about how the Groyper... Ooh, hold on. You know what? I actually do know where it is. My bad. Hold on. I know exactly where it is. Hold on. We got 4 minutes. I know where it is. I skipped right over it. It was the California Republicans thing. Here we go. Boom. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Love it when I find stuff. All right. The California Republican Party has been the first Republican party of any state to come out and condemn the Groyper movement, the woke right. Okay. This is what the woke right is. It's the Nick Fuentes Groyper wing of the party. Okay. And written here, let me just read it for you because it's going to be cutting off on the screen here. A radical and divisive iteration of America First ideology is growing within the ranks of the right wing in American politics. The ideology is characterized as white nationalist, hostile to constitutional, limited government conservatism, highly critical of MAGA and President Trump, and opposing civil rights of women, gays, and racial minorities. The core belief is this illiberal version of America is that America should be reorganized around an ethnically and cultural identity-based order, modeled closely after Nazi Germany. Hold on one sec, because this gets good. And every single Republican Party should follow suit here. Okay? Organizational bylaws to ensure a process exists to remove members who engage in physical or verbal conduct that brings the party into disrepute, including by aligning with this radical, divisive fringe ideology. Essentially, kick these people out of the tent. What I've been saying we should do for years. Okay, refrain, and that's not cancel culture. That's not censorship. That's gatekeeping. It's a good thing. Ask the Trojans. Okay, refrain from recruiting, supporting, or endorsing candidates who espouse extremist ideology, similar to Fuentes, campaigning by wearing his branded America First, the blue hat merchandise, or who promote Fuentes and Groyper culture. Perfect, right? The purpose of this. Okay, so this is the best part, okay? Among the expressed goals of those who have adopted this ideology is not necessarily to win elections, as our members and the constituents expect of the California Republican Party, but to place in the primary to then qualify for delegate and or ex officio central committee status with A, voting rights in the party, or B, the ability to appoint and control other delegates that align with their views to eventually, because this is a long game, take over the party from within. This is the exact model the Democratic Socialists of America implied to infiltrate and grow significant influence within the Democrat Party, which has driven millions of voters away from it. Perfectly stated. This is exactly what we've been telling you about the Groypers, the woke right. We've been saying kicking them out of the tent is good for the tent. They're not here to help us win elections. They're here to destroy the party, infiltrate it. Long game. This is the Yuri Bezmenov theory of divide and conquer. Get your SHIT together. Figure this out quick and kick them out of the tent. Make sense? Okay, good. Well, Sean Farish is coming up now on Ungoverned. Thank you so much for being with me. I'm so glad that I was able to cover his show yesterday, and I'm happy to see him back because I don't want to do this for 2 hours. Okay. Anyway, it's Wednesday, so me and him may be on tonight for the weekly breakdown. I'll let him tell you if he's available or not, and if so, we will see you tonight at 8:30 Central on rumble.com/TMP Uncensored. See you later.
A partially valid, a half-truth, if you will, is being pushed.
I can't wait to find out all sorts of new and exciting things I didn't know about myself.
So you just hate Jews, bro?
Yeah, you're just an anti-Semite. Congratulations.
You're
Go
not.
join.
What would you say?
Exactly.
Well, that's different. It's not different. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's
that just we are the only society on earth who has the obligation to self-destruct, to blame ourselves for every problem that has ever existed, and we just think of ourselves as the worst human beings who are responsible for every bad.
How many Muslims are trying to stop Boko Haram? How many Muslims were confronting ISIS? How many Muslims, the extremists always win. So the peaceful majority, of which I know many, they're irrelevant.